right, so boom. It's time to eliminate, delete, and just do away with the Pro Bowl. This year we had Pro Bowl games where they did all these different sort of skills competitions and whatever the case may be. However, they decided, well, instead of a football game, let's just have a flag football game coached by the Manning brothers. I love the incorporation of the Manning brothers, but at this stage, let's just keep it 100. Nobody is rushing to the doggone box office to buy tickets for the Pro Bowl. Nobody is booking flights to fly out to the location of the Pro Bowl. Players themselves are in droves saying, although I got awarded a Pro Bowl invitation, I ain't going, let somebody else pull up. The fact that Tyler Huntley made the Pro Bowl this year is absolutely laughable. It makes no sense. I'm not saying the kid can't play, but my God, Pro Bowler, 5 games, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, Pro Bowler, are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. The NFL, on top of all of that, does the worst of the big 4 leagues in America, that being hockey, baseball, basketball, football. The NFL does the worst at honoring their legends and Hall of Famers and bringing them, together alongside the current players during their All-Star Pro Bowl weekend. Nobody does it worse than the NFL. It's time to just do away with the Pro Bowl through and through, because it's absolutely ridiculous. Back in the day, I don't want to be one of those, back in my day, but let's just keep it a buck. Back during the 2000s, 90s, 80s, go back and look at Pro Bowl games. They actually had some form of incentive to play for, and everybody played hard. Now, don't get me wrong. Granted, you don't want to deal with injuries in a meaningless game for all intents and purposes. I understand that. Tyler Eifert breaking his foot in, I believe it was the 2015 or 2014 Pro Bowl. That's absolutely devastating. If I'm not mistaken, Myles Garrett dislocated a toe yesterday. But there needs to be something that you can do as a league to put together a game of your league's all-stars, your Pro Bowlers. The best players that season need to have something they can do in order to showcase why they are Pro Bowlers and the other players are not. Back in 2017, I think it was at the conclusion of the 2016 season, going into 2017, 43, I think it was 43 or maybe it was 39, one or the other. They had that many people get elected to the Pro Bowl and opt not to go. There's 53 people on a roster. I don't know how many Pro Bowlers get named, but all I know is if you've got 43 people say, I'm not going to go, you've got to now find 43 other replacements. What's the purpose? Here's what the Pro Bowl roster should be. Whoever makes the All-Pro teams, that's the Pro Bowlers, and whatever extra spot is remaining, then you can choose from the remaining spot to fill up the numbers. But that's what the Pro Bowl should be. Because if somebody is not a Pro Bowler, they shouldn't make it. It should be difficult to make it to the Pro Bowl. Moreover, it shouldn't just be a popularity contest. All of a sudden, somebody who got a piss poor season but has a whole lot of, morale and freaking, they're big in the media. All of a sudden, they make it to the Pro Bowl over somebody else who doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. Do away with the games through and through. Second, you want to play flag football. You know what they should have done? They should have incorporated NFL Hall of Famers. They should have incorporated some legends. Why not have the current players play against the Hall of Famers and the legends? But let's just go through and through with everything, right? We'll start off with the skills challenge or whatever the case was during the week that they have going on. Here's something that they can do. Bring back, the precision passing. Not what they have right now, but maybe what they were doing back in the day where the QBs were mobile and all that other stuff. Bring that back. Leave those games there. Kick-tack-toe is one of the greatest things they ever brought out there because it showcases how difficult it is to be a kicker. Bring that out there. Bring in some of the doggone Madden games that you had during the 2000s. Have your punters have to pin it inside the 10 or something of that nature. Give every position a competition to where they can compete. AFC versus NFC. Quarterback versus other quarterback. Receiver versus other receiver. Tight end against tight end. Lineman against lineman. Running back against running back. Fullback against fullback. Defensive lineman versus other defensive lineman. You got a linebackers versus linebackers. Secondary safety corner against each other. Bring in some sort of different competition for every single position that everybody can showcase why they are better than the other. I'm not saying go out there and do no doggone Oklahoma drill. but have some sort of competition that every position can go out there and participate in. Because let's just keep it a buck right now. What is the purpose of a lineman getting elected to the Pro Bowl? What do they do during Pro Bowl weekend? Oh, well, we have these competitions and these gauntlets where they can just pull these weights off of the bar. That's ridiculous. The Pro Bowl game should be the final game. But you're doing flag football, the linemen have no purpose. They're literally on the sideline just cheering. Give them something to do. Then incorporate legends. Have your Jerry Rices, Joe Montanas, Steve Youngs, Joe Namaths, even the older Pro Bowl Hall of Famers, legends of the game. They should all want to be there. And above all else, bring it back to Hawaii. Why are we going to these random states? We're in Vegas. We're in Orlando. We're in Arizona. We're in Florida. What's Honolulu? That should be the only spot for the Pro Bowl, period. That should be the only spot for the Pro Bowl. Bring it back to Hawaii. Arrange games for every single position. And then have a situation in the Pro Bowl where the only people who make it are the all-pros. Because let's keep it a buck now. Pro Bowls no longer matter. If you got all-pro teams, that's what matters above all else. All right, there's a whole lot of list of people who happen to make the Pro Bowl this year who had no business being on the Pro Bowl. There's a lot of legends who played back in the 2000s, could not make the doggone Pro Bowl. 90s, could not make the Pro Bowl. 2010s, anybody and everybody can make a Pro Bowl. Hell, you on the training staff? You seen the field twice this season? Hey, no quarterback wants to show up to the Pro Bowl. We're going to go down to number 19 or whoever pick up the phone, you a Pro Bowler. Well, my phone just rang. My wife answered it. Would you like to come to the Pro Bowl? Absolutely. Well, welcome. You're a Pro Bowler for 2023. It's ridiculous. Everybody's a Pro Bowler. It's crazy. So here's what they need to do. Bring the Pro Bowl back to Hawaii. Incorporate all kinds of different Pro Bowl games. I don't care if you have to do it similar to the NBA where you have a celebrity game on the you can do it on a Thursday or a Friday. Have a celebrity game where you want to bring in streamers or whatever the case may be. Contact the Chiseled Adonis. Have a bunch of different people, show up there. You can have a celebrity game, all that other stuff. A-listers, B-listers, C-listers, internet personalities, OnlyFans individuals, only because I'd like to see them after the event, but we're not talking about that right now. One way or another, have something of that nature. Then the following day, positional, skills showdowns, ranging from, whether you're testing speed, the ability to do your job in whatever position it is that you're playing, in those sort of situations. Because I'd love to have the fastest man back as well, where people legitimately go and compete. And then ultimately, it all leads towards that would be on the Friday or the Saturday. Then the Saturday or Sunday, whatever day is supposed to be the big Pro Bowl game, you can do some sort of situation where it's legends, retired players. They have to be retired players take on the current players. Now, granted, the current players should win, but you'll actually have an opportunity to learn more about the game because you have the legends that are there on the field that had played in the past. Although it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to keep up, you find a way to make it fun to incorporate everybody together, and then you can move forward with the doggone Pro Bowl, because what they have right now is ridiculous. Like, all right, if people ain't gonna hit each other, okay, no problem, because they don't got no pads no more. But they need to do something that can actually bring, the people to want to tune in to the All-Star game of the NFL. How is it that the biggest sport in the United States, that being American football, has the worst All-Star weekend? That doesn't make sense. Take a page out of the NBA, figure out a way to make it competitive, figure out a way to make it fun, figure out a way to get people to want to go. Because I promise you, back in the 2000s, people wanted to get tickets to go to the Pro Bowl. Moreover, and this is my last point, because I'm thinking out loud right now, how about we actually set up some sort of incentive? Because we know the NFL got some money, right? So you want to make the people want to show up? Set up a situation where if you win, because remember back in the day it was like $60,000 if you won, and then $20,000 if you lost. So the difference of like $40,000. So I think it was maybe about $25,000 or $30,000. I forget, whatever it was. But whatever the case was, Set it up in a situation where, let's just say the people on the winning team get like a $250,000 or maybe $500,000 bonus. Now, it sounds crazy. It sounds like a whole lot of money, especially if you're going to divvy that up amongst the winners of the team, the staff, whatever the case may be. But the NFL got money. You need to drive traction towards the Pro Bowl. So set it up to where the people will actually, the players in the game will actually want to win to get that money. And then the losers, ultimately, they're not going to want to lose. But then the losers, they get a little something as well. But the difference between the winning earnings and the losing earnings are so different to where you're going to try to do your best to mess around and win. You can't set up a situation where injuries can't happen, because injuries are going to happen regardless. But there needs to be some sort of incentive to where the players are going to want to participate. That's all I got to say about it. Because right now, the Pro Bowl of what's going on, like legitimately, I only watched the highlights. I didn't even want to tune in and see what was going on because I knew it was absolute tomfoolery. The only highlight of this weekend was Stephon Diggs trying to make it seem as if he was blindfolded when he was really looking at cheerleader ass. God damn. Now, I say all that to say, unless the NFL goes and change the doggone Pro Bowl and figures out a way to make it relatively entertaining, if they're going to keep to move forward with what they got, and this is the product they're going to put out year after year, do me a favor, NFL, Roger Goodell, take that Pro Bowl and put it right in the doggone Death Note, because this ain't it.
I may be wrong, but I doubt it.
You mean to tell me you watched the entire video but you haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button and become a member on Patreon or on YouTube to get access to the Discord. We're waiting for you in the Shadow Realm.
Do it! Just do it! Make your dreams come true! Please! Please!
What are you waiting for, huh? Oh my god.